get money, make sure that you are careful about it. I was watching Landman last night. Remember I told you about Landman, that show on Paramount? It's really good. And there was a whole, they gave a whole financial, I poked my wife. I said, they just gave a whole financial lesson right here. Like they were talking about the billionaire and the guy was like, he said, yeah, it's really hard to get money out of a billionaire. And then somebody says, yeah, but that's how you become a billionaire. And he goes, no, the reason he became a billionaire is because he bet it all on black and he won. And then he said, yeah. And the guy goes, yeah. And then when you win and you're a billionaire, then you make sure you're pinching every nickel to make sure you stay a billionaire. And what he was talking about was risk and risk tolerance and investing style and just and basically what happens is that once you get ahead and you get wealth, your goal is no longer wealth accumulation. Your goal becomes wealth protection. Like once you're like maybe you take chances in the football game to try to win the game, but once you're up by 4 touchdowns, you're not trying to score more touchdowns. You're trying to just make sure the other team doesn't score more touchdowns on you. You're running the ball. You're playing very conservatively. So your investing style and your risk tolerance shifts as your wealth goes up. So when you all become rich people, some of you already are. I've seen your bank. I met with a lot of you, and some of you are on your way to being rich. When you get rich, just know that you're going to have to evolve. You have to evolve into someone that's conscious about protecting the ball as opposed to somebody who's out here gunslinging and just putting it all on the line. There's nothing that will have leave you with more regrets than like having a bunch of money and then losing it all because you weren't thoughtful about protecting that money. And there will be so much and the thing about it is, once you get a whole lot of money, it reminds me it reminds me actually when I was watching the Dallas Cowboys play. They actually won yesterday, which is quite rare. But Shador Sanders won with the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, they're kind of terrible too. Hopefully, Shador will keep winning though. It was cool to watch. Anyway, in the NFL, like when the guy gets the ball and like you're hoping your team catches the ball and that they score a touchdown. And so sometimes they'll catch the ball and they'll start running, and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you forget that like once they're running, what the other players are doing is they're trying to do what? They don't try to tackle you. They try to take that ball out of your hands, right? And so if you're not thinking about it, like someone will that's why when they know they've got their yardage, they do like this and they really cover the ball because they know that everybody's going to try to take that ball because you've already got that 30-yard run or whatever, and it'll be ruined if you fumble it at that point. So a lot of times we have to remember that when it comes to wealth, when you get that wealth and you get that breakthrough, at some point your breakthrough will happen. At some point you will have daylight and you're going to run that ball 30 yards down the field. And I know some of y'all don't even like football, but just bear with me. And then when you get that 30 yards down the field, you got to run like this. You can't be flashy and be like, woohoo, look at me, y'all. You don't see those. That's really embarrassing. You ever see the player where they start dancing because they think they got the touchdown and then somebody comes along and knocks the ball out of their hand, right? Like that happens all the time. Leon Lett in the 1993 Super Bowl did that. Anybody remember that when the Cowboys won the Super Bowl and he ran and he started dancing and all that and they knocked the ball out of his hand and they made him look stupid? I think it was Leon Lett. Maybe I'm wrong. If you know him, hopefully he won't come beat me up for saying that. But still, though, this is a common thing. So ultimately, your consciousness and awareness is always critical.